Hello! We are once again trying not to Wordle. This is Don't Wordle for December 10th, 2022. And I try to explain Don't Wordle. It's a little bit difficult to explain because it's not quite what people expect. But basically, the game is thinking of a word. Everyone gets the same word every day, just like Wordle. We're trying not to guess the word. And you say, well, that's easy. Just guess like 6 random words. Well, the problem is, after every guess, it'll give us Wordle-like clues, the greens and the yellows. And basically that narrows down the valid words remaining, because that narrows down what could possibly be the answer. And we're only allowed to follow up with more guesses that are in that list, that could still be the answer. And so, for example, if I guess a word with an E in it, and that ends up gray, I'm not allowed to use E again. But if I guess a word with an E in it and it's yellow, then I must use the E again, but I can't use it in the same place as that yellow E. Additionally, if I guess a word with 2 E's in it, and one's yellow and one's gray, based on Wordle clues, that means there are not 2 E's in the word. It won't even let me guess another word with 2 E's in it. So it's very restrictive, and that makes it quite difficult. And we have 5 undos. The way the undos work is I can undo anytime I want, and that removes the word from the guess, but we still can remember what it was colored. The only thing that we can't undo is if we accidentally Wordle. If we guess the actual word it's thinking of and it comes up all green, we lose instantly, we can't undo it. But if we get down to like 2 words remaining after a guess, then it's probably a good idea to undo that, unless we're right at the end. So that's how the game works. I hope this explanation was good. I hope I didn't bore you with this explanation if you already knew that. I'm going to get started now. I'm going to put an additional constraint on myself today. And this is something that I actually had a nice conversation with the creator of Don't Wordle. And something that they're looking to put into the puzzle is a kind of a hard mode where you're only allowed to guess common words. Now, the issue is, how do you identify what is a common word and what isn't? So that's kind of the stumbling block there. It's actually a very difficult problem. Just limiting ourselves to the Wordle answer list might not be the best idea, because there's plenty of words that people know that are on there, and there are some words that are kind of actually obscure that are on there. So we'd have to come up with some kind of word list that was a nice balance. But I'm going to basically do words that I know how to use in a sentence, basically, right? I know the definition and I've used them before. So like, I'm not going to do, even though like these games have taught me that this is an alternate spelling of kayak and it's used by the Inuit people, I am not going to use that word. I could use kayak because I've used that word before, but not kayak spelled with this way, just because word games were the only thing that taught me that. I don't use that in common usage. So wish me luck here. And I'm going to try to think of a good starting word. I think something like mama is definitely a word that I know. It uses the O and the A. Maybe mama with 2 A's then, because that's definitely, it's just a way of saying mother, right? So I'm going to start with that. Okay, good. It looks like it's all gray. I mean, it could have been greens, that's why I waited, but cool. So that's a good start. So now I'm thinking something like lolly, just because, you know, that stands for lollipop, or poppy. Poppy is probably better than lolly. I wonder if papa, like that, spelled that way, is accepted. Oh no, I can't use the A again, because the A is gray. Poppy, like poppy seeds. Something like civic is usually pretty good. That's doubled up the C and the I. The V is relatively uncommon. And I know what civic means. So, I'm going to go poppy. And if the word ends in Y, that's actually really nice, because there's a bunch of words that end in Y that I could filter through. But let's start with poppy. All right, it's just all gray. So now I can't use the Y again, so that does limit me. I could still do civic. That's a nice option. What else might I want to do? Eerie. I can do eerie still. Tripling the E is pretty nice, but the word probably has an E in it, so that's going to limit where I can place the E from now on, but a lot of words have E. I might, See, if I do eerie, that's going to really limit my ability to do civic. I basically won't be able to unless that I is green. I still have no idea what the word is. What if I use like a Z or a Q or an X? Just get those out of the way before I'm unable to think of a word that uses those. Zebra is no, zebra is not free actually, but I probably wouldn't want to guess that anyway. What if I do a QU word like quiz? I think quiz is good. We're gonna have to discover what vowels are in this word anyway, so that doubles up the Z. No, quiz is 1 Z. Never mind, I can't do quiz. I wouldn't lock in quiz with 2 Z's because I don't know that word, if that is one. Quest seems pretty bad because it's 5 distinct letters and they're pretty common other than the Q. Can't do quack. What else could I do? Quill at least doubles up the L. Let's do quill and see where that takes us. I always have undos. All right, so we have an I. And actually, this is a perfect opportunity to do civic, I think. Do I want to do civic? I think I do. Or I could do vivid. No, yeah, I could do vivid. Vivid is better. That's a double V, double I, and a D. That's way better than civic. Let's do vivid. All right, we found where the I is. We found there are not 2 I's. So now I have to put an I second. And I'm not allowed to use 2 I's anymore. But other than that, I'm free to use any of these open letters. That's pretty nice. So... oh, I wonder if it's the itch trap. That would be quite interesting. What's left? Witch, hitch. I mean, I guess there's this word for female dogs, and that's probably not in the answer list. But I would, if it is actually an itch trap word, I would be down to a 50-50. So maybe I shouldn't do that yet. So what else can I do that wouldn't be an itch trap word? We have 253 words left, but a lot of them are probably words I don't know. Something like since looks possible. Yeah, since is possible. I'm curious about it. It might be the answer. Well, I mean, it's always a gamble when I don't know what it is. I'm trying to think of maybe something using more... like, so what about like IZZ? I don't have the Y anymore. That makes it more difficult to like use double letters like that. CK maybe? Ooh, how about 8? 8 is pretty nice, actually. I feel like it's... I mean, obviously there's just as much chance for it to be since or 8 or witch or hitch. But I think 8 has a different form than a lot of other words. So I'm more likely to be... if that E becomes yellow, I'm more likely to be able to use it. So let's just see what 8 does. I mean, it really is a gamble no matter what. Okay, good. 7 words remaining. Let's see. It's not any of them that I thought of. I didn't think about using the G. So my immediate thought is this form or maybe the E at the end. Or, ooh, what if it was like I something GE? Hinge? No, there's no H anymore, actually. Singe? Binge? I think whinge, I don't know. I don't really know what whinge means, so I've told myself I won't use that. I feel like I might know what whinge means, but I'm not confident. So, and it might not even be a word, so I'm not going to lock that in. I think singe and binge are 2 good candidates. I know what those mean. And there's still since. There's still since. So do we leave it up to the wheel? I think that's always fun. People like that. So I'm going to put since, singe, and binge into the wheel. I know those words. And we're going to see what the wheel has to say. So I'm going to set that up. Give me a moment. All right. Well, I actually have to use a different wheel because for some reason Wheel of Names is giving me trouble loading. I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to figure it out later. But I do have this other wheel, singe, binge, and since. Let's see how this one treats us. We'll give it a spin. All right. It wants us to go with singe. So let's do that. Singe. Yes. Oh, right. Well, oh, it was siege. I didn't even think of that. So I could have gone with any of those 3. All right. Well, that's cool. We have survived. The wheel didn't matter today, but still that was cool. So after 8, what was it? It was binge, gibber, I don't know. Gibes, I don't know. Ginge, I don't know. Siege, I do know. Since, and it turns out whinge was a word, but I still don't know what it means. I don't use whinge in my common usage, so really it was just siege that I didn't think of, which in this case was a good thing because I couldn't have possibly wordled today. But singe, binge. What happened to since? Was since actually not possible? Apparently not. After 8... Oh, after 8, we couldn't do since because it needed the G. All right, well, if I had picked that, I would have absolutely tried to type that and then realized the problem. So that's okay. That's a little embarrassing, but that's all right. We did manage not to Wordle today, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, if you enjoyed this content, then why not leave a like and subscribe.